Chris Skurrie, thanks for joining the Carpool series with Soho. Welcome, mate.
Thanks, mate. Thanks for inviting us.
You're also a property investor, so you've been investing in real estate since 19, 20?
Yeah, since the age of 19.
So I guess you kind of use a lot of the learnings that you've had over the last 18, 19 years.
Yep.
And you, I guess, now kind of educate buyers on what to do, what not to do, and probably leveraging a lot of the mistakes that you might have made.
Yeah, for sure.
And kind of helping people buy. But yeah, maybe tell me a bit about your property investing journey.
Yeah, so as you said, I first built my first property at the age of 19 years of age, and which is in Geelong, in a regional town, and had great benefits from that. Sort of, about 12 years ago, 13 years ago, built my own property.
Awesome.
And that sort of gain, purchased, built that for about 150,000, and then recently sold that a couple of years ago for about 540,000.
Wow.
So had some good gains from that one.
Yeah, for sure.
Just by knowing, the in between sort of Geelong and Melbourne market. But I guess the important thing that I can really, a few tips from my journey is that having a really good first foundation platform of not going to the market and buying not heaps of property. You hear a lot of these things about sort of buy 10 property in 10 years is the way to go.
Yeah.
But it's also about having a balance and minimising that risk as well. So some of the things that I consider is first of all, get that base property down pat. So either your first home or looking at your second sort of investment property, looking at that balance of good growth in the area and a good yield that can cover your costs.
Yep.
The second tip that I'd suggest is if you're moving on to your second or third properties, and looking at properties that really have the opportunity to scale up. And what I mean by that is looking at opportunities to add a grading flat, looking at opportunities to sort of renovate the property and get greater value within the property.
Yep.
And great capital gains in there as well.
Yeah, gotcha. Any mistakes that you've made along the way?
So we purchased property previously where you think going in there, with a bit of an emotional feel.
Yeah.
And you don't sort of tend to look at every aspect of the property. And one property that we bought a few years ago looked great, had the granny flat at the back, dual income, and we later found out years down the track that had lots of work to be done. So it's really important that you do your due diligence around the property that you're looking at, and real estate agents will always sell you the benefits, but sometimes you don't see the behind the scenes sort of cracks in the property that you might even miss yourself.
Yeah, gotcha. Just touching on purchases, so you're a buyer's agent, so you represent buyers and you help them buy property.
Yeah.
Which is different to a real estate agent, because the real estate agent, they help the seller.
That's right.
But yeah, well, I guess what are some of the benefits of using a buyer's agent?
Okay, yeah, so I guess a buyer's agent's a relatively new concept in Australia. So it's people sort of are so used to going to a real estate agent to depend on them for information. And I guess the benefits of having a buyer's agent is they do all the research for you.
Yeah.
They look at all of the comparative data. They have the local on the ground knowledge, so they're going in and sort of really looking at what is the streets, particular streets in particular areas are the best sort of areas to look at.
Yeah.
The other benefits, I guess, of a buyer's agent is to really save people time and money. Everyone's time poor these days with their jobs, so doing all that research and presenting options to a buyer is really important. Whereas a real estate agent tends to focus on their own stock.
Yeah.
A buyer's agent tends to have a lot of relationships with many agents, and quite often get information about deals that don't even yet come on the market.
Yeah, gotcha. So I guess there's a couple of things there. One is a time thing. So instead of a buyer turning up every weekend for 6 months and kind of wasting their whole weekend, you could definitely kind of speed up the process.
Yeah, definitely.
But then there's is that off-market properties?
Yes,
is that what you kind of talk about?
Pre-markets are the pre-market properties are where properties are about to go on market.
Yeah.
And there's also off-market properties where the buyer, the vendor hasn't yet even sort of gone ahead with having contact with an agent. Yeah.
Gotcha. And I guess before even someone would even decide on using a buyer's agent, they would speak to you first, and you would kind of see if it's a good fit between them and yourself as a buyer's agent.
Yeah, look, buyer's agent might not be for everybody, but certainly I think if you're a new buyer, new first home buyer, and if you've never bought before, there's a real benefit in making sure that you have a good understanding of what you're buying is actually the true value of the property. But also as an investor, there's some real benefits in using a buyer's agent because if you're investing in an unfamiliar area, you might be actually buying the wrong property, so it's really important you're sure about that. Yeah,
you want the local knowledge, don't you? You want the guys on the ground. I mean, you've grown up in Newcastle, haven't you? So you kind of know all the streets in and out. So
I'm born and bred actually in Victoria, in Geelong, which is another sort of regional area which is booming at the moment. But I've lived in Newcastle for the last sort of 18 years, so I have really good knowledge around the area as well.
Gotcha. Chris, contact details. How do I get in contact with you if I'm watching this video? I want to find out more.
Yeah, sure. You can contact me through my website at C&M Property Partners. I'm also on Facebook under Chris Skurrie, and my mobile number is 0431 973 395.
Too easy, Chris Skurrie. Thanks so much for joining the Carpool series with Soho.
Thanks for having us, Joe.
Cheers, mate.
Cheers.